What's up nerds, this is Bibs and today I got 3 techniques for you that will better your grooves and make your whole productions feel a lot more alive. Sounds good? Let's go. Number 1. Virtual drummers. If you're trying to make something sound realistic using a traditional sampler, you're gonna have a bad time. Most of them have the velocity assigned to volume, maybe filter cutoff, but that's not enough to trick our brain into thinking it's a real-life performance. In real life, if you compare the sound of a hard and a soft hit, one is not just louder than the other one. There's also a difference in the harmonic balance. That's when virtual drumming machines come into play. They capture all the nuances of a live performance by sampling over and over all the different ways of hitting a drum or a cymbal. These instruments sound realistic and yet give you full control over your sound. Because if you didn't know about the process of recording a real drum set, it's a real pain. There's a lot of miking involved, room mics and whatnot, and that's just for the recording. I'm not even talking about the editing. This is the template that I start with for 95% of my projects. It's a MIDI pattern that I throw in almost all of the tracks that I'm working on. And I tweak it, edit it according to the context of the song. As you can see, I do have velocity action going on, but also I'm playing 4 different notes and they all correspond to different hits on the cymbal. If you go under the hood, you'll see what's being triggered. That's where the magic happens. Look at all these options: close hat, open hat, on the bell, on the edge, and so on. I would suggest you to do a little bit of research on how drummers play and what kinds of articulations sound good together, so you can take full advantage of this beast. Another powerful feature is the ability to switch the hi-hat by retaining the same exact groove. This is why I only need one template, because I can get something completely different with just a few clicks away. And as if that wasn't complete enough, they also have this feature called a round robin, which consists of playing back randomly different samples, even if you play the same note at the same velocity. So you never get to hear twice the same exact audio file in a row. Does that make sense? Alright, you're gonna need to pay very close attention for this one, because it's subtle. I have a spectrum analyzer open to help you pick up on the difference. I have 16 notes playing back to back and they all have the same velocity. There's a button where you can switch the round robin on and off. Addictive Drums calls it no alternative, but it's the same thing. I'm gonna start with no alternation, so it's gonna play the exact same sample over and over, just like a sampler would. Then I'm gonna turn round robin on and you'll see how much better and natural it sounds. Number 2, Distortion Automation. Let's say you can get your hands on a virtual drummer. Maybe you're too broke and also you don't want to be a pirate. I know it's a lot of conditions, but regardless, I got another trick up my sleeve for you. Like I said earlier, only changing the volume is not gonna cut it, because louder sounds also tend to be more rich harmonically speaking. So let's fake that. Let's add these harmonics artificially. And what a better way to do so than by adding distortion. In this next example, I'll be working off one single sample only, and yet some parts will sound edgier than the other ones, depending on how much distortion I'll be putting in. Check it out. This is the hi-hat that I've loaded into the sampler. I'm gonna play it with that automation first. Now I'm gonna turn on the automation and it will make the whole part more dynamic. This technique is even more effective if the one-shot has a little bit of reverb tail, so it can really come out when you jack up the distortion and make it sound like the cymbal is being hit harder. Number 3, VolumeShaping. This is the quickest way to change the feel of your groove. Insert a VolumeShaper on your track, set it to 1 or 2 bars, draw the volume envelope to your liking, and there you go. Also, being a sequence-based plugin, you don't have any automations to copy around, which will speed up your workflow. And that's always welcome. We're using a shaker for this one, and it's a little too omnipresent for my taste. So let's make it breathe a little more by turning down everything that's not on the beat and the upbeat. That's it for today, guys. As you noticed, none of these techniques implied changing the placement of the notes, and yet there was a lot of life added. People tend to forget that groove is not only about swing of beats and fancy rhythms, but also about dynamics that can make or break your tracks. Thanks for watching. That was a close one.